Hey guys, it's Vornskyr here, and today we're back in Star Citizen because for the next week, or at least until January 23rd, which I believe is Friday, any Star Citizen backer can fly the entire Mustang range. Now, they do say any backer on the website, on the post on the website, so I assume that means even if you don't have an Arena Commander pass, or even if you don't have Alpha access, you may still be able to fly these. I'm not 100% sure about that, but that's what it says on the website. But anyway, so it is the entire Mustang range, so that includes the limited variants, which is I believe the Delta and the Omega. I think the Delta being limited in terms of just being a fairly rare sales sort of one, and the Omega being a reward for buying an AMD video card, I think. And one interesting thing as well, and TrackIR is getting really weird, so let's see if that works, I don't know. It's being a bit fiddly today. But one thing that's pretty cool, you can see all of the Mustangs are actually in the outfitting screen. So you can actually have a fair bit of play around with these. So that's the Omega, for example. You can see it's got whatever that is, a cooler or something. It's got thrusters at the back there. It's got its weapons on it. Those are actually the sucker punches that the Avenger also has. But you can actually go into the outfitting and play around with these ships, and that's really cool. So it's interesting. But anyway, so I haven't flown any of these ships yet, so I guess let's just go into a bit of free flight, and we'll see how they handle and all that. So I'm not going to fly all of them in this video. I think what I'll probably do is the Delta and the Omega. So start out with the Delta, I think, and if you're wondering, you select them by just clicking this little tab down here, and then you obviously have this whole drop-down list. So let's select the Delta. And what map we'll do? Let's do Broken Moon. I think the lighting is a bit better there. And we will rejoin once this loading screen is done.
Welcome. Your journey begins now. All systems operational.
Okay, well, that's an interesting voice. The HUD's looking pretty good as well. It's the blue, it's kind of pretty clear to see. Okay, so that's all good. Unfortunately, the helmet means, like, because the helmet is fixed in place, even though I can move my head around with TrackIR, I can't actually see around the inside of the cockpit, really. I mean, I can actually move kind of forwards and break outside of the helmet, so I guess I can do that. And there's my head. So you got a lot of visibility in here. You see that turret moving around down the bottom? What button is that? There we go. That's pretty cool. It's a nice little touch. So yeah, the cockpit has a lot of visibility. Let's get an outside look. If I remember what buttons I bound that to. Oh, green engines, fancy. Let's try this. I've never really been a fan of the Mustang styling, if I'm honest. I know some people quite like it. It doesn't really do it for me. But I do like being able to see the ships in third person like this. So let's actually start moving around a little bit. Wow, the booster is really loud. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. I'm not sure what all of the weapons are bound to. Oh, there we go. It is just those four. I was actually thinking for a moment that there might have been more than that. Okay, so that's cool. This obviously is the Delta variant, so this is the one that's designed as a kind of dedicated combat ship. I don't have all the specs for these ships or anything like that, but to be honest, at this point in the game, the specs don't matter too much anyway, because they are likely to keep changing. Ooh, I'm going to run into an asteroid any second now. I just know it. Okay, let's start flying this properly. And this is why free flight is good. I think it's a really good chance to get a feel of the ships. Oh, fuck me. Ow. It's a good chance to get a feel of the ships though, without you know, having to worry about people shooting you or enemies, Vandal, whatever. So it seems to maneuver very well so far, this Mustang. Although I guess you have to worry about G-forces or rating out or whatever. I wonder if I've actually taken thruster damage. It seems to be jerking around a lot. I wonder if colliding with that thing actually injured the ship. Let's go back into third person again. I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Doesn't look like I've got anything taken out. That's always cool doing this. Just get to see all the detail of the ship and everything. Okay, well let's go back into proper flight. So we've seen already, I think, that this gimbaled weapon, the turret underneath the nose, has a fair range. So you can definitely move that around a fair way and get some shots off. What about the other weapons? So those are fixed in place. Moving my head around does nothing for those. It seems to maneuver pretty well. Obviously I've got ComStab turned off at the moment. It doesn't slide very much at all actually. The maneuvering, it's not as twitchy as the Avenger. I think there might actually be something a little bit wrong with the Avenger at the moment. I'm not quite sure about that. But this feels a lot more smoother moving around, whereas the Avenger, when I've flown that, has always felt really twitchy. But again, I'm not quite sure if that's a problem with the Avenger, or if maybe I'm just imagining things. We're moving around at 200 meters per second, which is pretty good. It does seem to be hitching a bit. Like it'll kind of move and then stop and then jerk a little bit. So it's possible that that's a little glitch, or maybe it's damage that I've taken by running into that thing. I'm not really sure about that. But yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. So that's cool. Let's try a bit of actual maneuvering around. You can see it's with ComStab turned off, it is kind of redding out and blacking out fairly easily. But let's set ourselves a little kind of impromptu race course once we get up into these asteroids and try to dodge around them. And this probably won't end well. Let's go up this way. Use a bit of boost to kind of counteract the sliding effect. Yeah, I'd say it's a fairly maneuverable ship. You just have to be careful of the putting too much G-forces on it, I guess, which is the case with most of the ships in this game, to be honest. This guy's heavy breathing, deep in my ears, taking a bit of getting used to. Of course, they've been doing that since 1.0 came out, I think. Yes, yes, proximity alert, I know. Yep, so it can definitely move around pretty well. I do like how it has a different voice. All the ships and stuff have different voices. It's just a nice little touch. So those are the two laser repeaters, the same ones that the Hornet F7C has, by the way, as well. And we know that those can do a fair bit of damage, although they do overheat quickly. And this also has rockets by the looks of it. I just noticed that then, actually. So how do I fire those? Maybe I might actually need to have something targeted to be able to fire those rockets. And obviously in free flight I can't target anything. But if you have a look down on the left hand side, looks like it's got 14 rockets in each pod. So that is pretty interesting. So I might find myself doing a Vandal Swarm video with this ship or something a bit later. There we go. What just happened? Why is my head looking down towards the ground? Oh god, that was a bit brutal. My pilot doesn't sound too healthy at the moment. Okay, I don't think he enjoyed that very much at all. Let's take a look at what we've lost, if anything. To be honest, any damage that I took, it doesn't seem to be too visible at the moment. Although there's something hovering just in midair there. That's probably not ideal. It looks like that weapon might actually be broken. Let's try firing it. Yeah, the weapon's broken. Okay. And you see that little fin above that? It looks like an intake. That looks broken as well. So I guess I did take some damage, but it's not it's not particularly obvious. And you can see those rocket pods there. That must be what those are. That's pretty cool. Okay. I still think it's an ugly ship, but it flies pretty well. I've got to give it credit for that. Alright, well, that is a bit of an overview of the Delta. So let's go back to the hangar and I will jump in the Omega and then we'll come back out here. Okay, so here we are, the Omega. Let's bust out the third person view, shall we? Of course we got this red and black racing paint job. Which very subtle R9 branding there. I have no idea what they're trying to get at there, given that this is an AMD reward. But it does look kind of cool. I like the skin. I think apart from the skin, that this is basically the same ship as the Gamma. The Gamma being the other racing variant. So probably shouldn't have locked that in place actually. It's a little bit of a weird effect. There we go. That's pretty cool. That booster is really loud. I don't know what that orange thing just floating in the middle of nowhere is either. I guess it's a booster or something. I don't know. It's a bit weird. Anyway, that's cool. I'm gonna run into something. I know it. It already looks like this is a fair bit faster than the Delta variant. And those obviously are the sucker punch neutron cannons. I think they're neutrons. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Those are the weapons that kind of incapacitate ships, at least for a moment, rather than doing much damage. So, in terms of arena commander, like what we've got now, you might as well just take these weapons off because they're completely useless if you don't have any other weapons to back it up. And I don't think that this ship does. Doesn't look like it's got missile pods or anything like that. I'll have a look at the HUD once I'm actually in game or in the cockpit, and we can see what it's got. I like you can see the pilot in there. That's always cool. Alright, so that's probably enough of that. Let's go into the cockpit. So yeah, you can see on the left it's only got the two weapons, so there's no missiles, there's nothing else to back it up with, so these sucker punches are pretty much useless on their own, basically. But anyway, so let's boost up to our top speed, 270 meters per second. That is a lot faster than the Delta was. The Delta was capping out at 200. So the other result of that is that we're likely to red out or black out a lot faster. You can see it's already going there. The maneuvering, I think the maneuvering probably maneuvers a bit faster as well. Just in terms of, you know, left, right, up, down. So I think that is responding faster and all that sort of thing. This it doesn't seem to have that hitching sort of thing that was happening with the Delta, so maybe that was caused by some sort of damage in the Delta, or it was just a glitch, an intermittent sort of glitch, I'm not sure. Anyway, so let's go cruising around for a little bit. And I would like to show you a racing map, but I've talked about this a couple times before. When it comes to recording, my computer just can't handle it on the racing maps. The maps are they seem to be more graphically intensive than these like Dying Star and Broken Moon. So, I mean, I'm recording at the moment getting just under 30 FPS. If I was on one of the racing maps, I'd be getting about 15. So, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. But let's bring this in here. We'll try to dodge some of these asteroids. Handling it all pretty well. It is sliding around a little bit more than the Delta was. Oh, that's not good. Yep, saw that coming. I don't think it actually did much though. It might have stripped my shields, but I don't think it did any damage to the ship. Okay, so let's go up through here. So they definitely seem to be good handling, well handling ships, these Mustangs. I mean, I gotta be honest, I never had a lot of interest in the Mustang lineup. That might be because originally when they first mentioned it, it was kind of thought of as being more of just a rebadged, well not rebadged, but a kind of just the same sort of thing as the Aurora, only a different shape. It actually looks like it's kind of a different ship altogether. which is good actually. I really like that, and especially because it's got these 5 variants, or 4 variants plus the base model, however you want to think of it. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, I guess. But it's definitely handling itself well. So let's kind of loop around here, shall we? Give it a bit of boost. That works pretty well. I love being able to do that sort of thing. I mean, I'm playing so much Elite, which obviously has its own unique flight style. That's going to be a crash. No, we made it out of there. But with Elite's really slow handling and everything, sometimes it's nice to be able to just jump back into this and fling ships around. And have a pilot breathing heavily deep into my ears. Like some sort of strange phone call. So many proximity alerts. Oh, you can't win them all. So yeah, this definitely flies pretty well. So let's go looping around this asteroid, shall we? So with the right application of the boost, you don't need to slow down at all. That was my throttle just jammed wide open. I don't know how much boost I actually have. You can see it in some of the ships. They actually have a meter for how much boost fuel you've got left. This one, I'm not sure if any of these readouts next to the radar are actually useful for anything at all. I've got no idea. I can't see anything about boost fuel. It might be kind of hidden away somewhere. No, I don't know. Well, there's probably a limit on the boost fuel anyway, but from what I've seen with the other ships, it takes a while to reach it, so you should be fine just kind of flying around, jerking a throttle and or jerking the stick and hitting the boost, I guess. Not the ideal way to fly probably, but if you're in a pinch, I guess it'll work. Let's go flying around this giant beam of death. It's always fun. Go in through these panels, kind of slow it up a bit. Oh shit, that hasn't worked. It can actually take a bit of a beating, this ship. Normally, I mean, those sorts of collisions in some of the other ships would have just been instant death. So it's interesting. I don't know if that's like the damage states just not being completely finished or something, anything like that. I mean, I think the Avenger seemed to take a lot of collision damage from running into asteroids or that sort of thing. It could just be the way it's actually impacting, I'm not quite sure. So let's just go kind of banging our way through this one. Oh, it does die if you go straight into it. Oh, it's still dying somewhere. Oh, anyway, that seems like a good place to call this. So that is the Mustang, the full Mustang lineup available for flight for the rest of the week. So definitely give it a shot. Even if you're not an alpha backer or somebody with an Arena Commander pass, if you've got the game downloaded for the hangar or whatever, then you know, jump in. I don't actually know if it's available if you don't have that pass. I mean, it says available to any backers, so it probably is, but there's no harm in trying. So definitely give it a shot. It's fun to fly around with, something a bit different. And yeah, I'm definitely interested in taking the Delta into Vandal Swarm and seeing how it performs, because it's actually heavy. It's got more weapons than the Avenger or the or not quite the Avenger, but the Sucker Punches don't really count, I don't think. And it's got more than the Hornet F7C, so it'll be interesting to see how it performs, and I'm also interested to see how those rocket pods go. I'm not going to do that today, but I'll probably do that in a couple of days, so that should be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not sure there's much more to talk about these. I mean, obviously there is the other variants as well. I'm not going to jump in all of them, because I think at the end of the day it'll all be the same thing, just flying around in free flight. And I don't know how different they'll handle compared to the Delta. But yeah, so I think I'll call this one here. So it's pretty cool to see this sort of thing, and definitely give it a chance, or jump in and see how it goes if you get the chance. But yeah, so until next time, I've been Vornskyr. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.